Alrighty, so looks like things are working. Let's jump in. So today we're going to be looking at some of the latest updates to the Mona template. We've added an update helper, I guess you could say, or a utility that can check if you have the right version of Unity. It checks if that version has Webgl installed, and what's the other one? If the template is up to date. We also have the Mona library importer, which allows you to grab assets really quickly. And the library will be growing as we add assets to it, or people submit assets to it. And finally, we also have the AI material designer. So we're going to be looking at kind of all three today. So let's get into it. Screen. One moment. Let's do ArtStation because that's cool. There we go. All right. Now, what I have done so far, just so we all know, is I have grabbed the latest Mona template from the docs, so docs.metaverse.com, and got the download using the code here, download zip. And I put that on my desktop here. Let's just slowly, quickly make a new thing that does this stuff. So, let's go latest updates. Will be a good workshop, I guess. And then unzip the package here. Extract here. Using what I use, WinRAR. That's the one. I will usually rename the package because names on everything are very important. Done. And that's it. And now we can use Unity to open that package. So for that one, go back, tutorials, workshops, latest updates, and project. Open. That'll take a little bit. So yeah, so these three assets are really cool and very useful. And I'll go through each one just to show you where they are and how to use them as needed. And then after that, I'd like to sort of jump into Blender, make some quick assets, put them into Unity, and then use the AI material designer to texture it. Okay, so we have our new template opened, and as you can see, we have our tools here. So we have Mona Library, Quality Assurance, which is the QA here, and the template utility. But first, though, we want to load space scenes. Cool. So we've got that. And then we're going to right mouse click this and then remove scene. And there we go. So first up, let's look at the template utility. I think that's the better one to start with. So we have this. Now, I have everything. So everything's fine for me. So Unity version 2020.3.18, template version 1.3, and Webgl build module installed. Hello, Blockchain Chad. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, I don't need the utility, but I will show you what this looks like if this does not work. So we got Almona Tools, template utility. So this is what happens when you don't have all the things. So Unity version installed is, it tells you what you have and what you need. Yeah, happy to help and happy to stream. This is always fun. Better when more people. So get all your friends involved because it's good to get people chatting. It's fun. um, but yeah. So if you click on this, this will actually go. Where does it go? One to one of these websites. I think it probably goes to get started. On the grounds that you can get the template here. So we'll do that. Template update available. So that will actually do something very similar to what the Mona library will do, which will allow you to import the latest files of the template really quickly. So that'll be good. And the WebGL will also go to, I think this one goes to troubleshooting because we've got this here. This is a common, probably one of the most common issues with a lot of people who start on a Mona space. And when they build the space, like there's no files. I think that's what happens. So that will go into how to add the Mona WebGL. So I'll get on a quick look at that. So we have our installs on the Unity Hub, and we'll go to that, and then settings, and then you go add modules, and the WebGL is down here. So you would sort of click that on the WebGL, and then go install. So that's the WebGL issue done. So super useful, but when everything's good, everything's good. Next up, we'll go to the Mona library. Now we have this button here, but we have a cool one here, so I just use that. And we have all of our WebGL, I don't WebGL, all of our assets in the library. So some of these have been submitted by creators for competitions or just in general. I'll probably be adding to these over time. I've already added this chair, for example. We've got some cool speakers. But basically, you can use these. So one of my favorites was this one, the stained glass portal. So I'll grab that every time. So to grab a library asset, all you have to do is go is download. And this will come up. This is an example of what happens when you have the update in the Mona update utility. So this will come up, and then you just have to go import, and it will import all of the assets that are new. I'd like to take a moment to look at the hierarchy here, because it is possible to submit to the library, and that will bring up the Mona library submission doc using this Airtable, and this goes into a lot of the information here, like the library folder structure, polycounts because you're aiming for game ready assets, preview image because you have to add all of those assets, and things like that. So let's go a quick overview. So you'll need the asset name, the category, which we have some here. You can use other as well. Adding the Unity package. So with the Mona library now, because we have this tool that makes it really easy to import it, it has to be a Unity package. So I'll share a doc for that one as well. The photo, or the little biopic, if you will, for the asset. Polycount. Now the polycount, and I cover this in this one. Where was it? There's a polycount tool in the asset store, which is free. And it basically shows how many triangles are on the asset, which is super, super useful for that one. So that'll do that. And that helps people using the asset to judge if it's good for what they want it to. So if it's a high polygon asset, and once again, these all have to be game ready assets. So high poly means like medium poly, I guess. Then they could use that for an important asset. But if it's a not important asset and it's really high polygon, then you wouldn't want to use that because it'll take too long to process. So Polycount's very important. Create a name, build an alias, one of the two, email address, terms of service, and make CCO, and things like that. So there we go. All very useful. Now we're using this. I think you can kind of use any image you want, but it's good to sort of keep it to the flow if you can. And you can actually do this in Unity if you just grab the screen and put it in there. Now, the important thing for use, and this is something that we strongly recommend, I guess, is the Unity hierarchy. So we've got it here on the dock. But this is a clear example of what we're going for. So when you make your folder structure, you'd have your Mona library, and sort of create the same as this one for your asset when you're exporting the prefab. So you'll have the underscore Mona library, capital M, capital L, portals, or any of the other categories that we have in the, what do you call it, the form. So furnishings, portals, shaders, textures, sculptures, and other. Your name, the assets. Now the assets will have the name, and you put everything in that just to keep it really clean. That way, if you had 5 different assets, you would be able to keep those separate from each other. So you could have the same name of an asset and not worry about that too much. So this approach will allow you to create the assets with the naming that you want that won't override other people's assets, which is kind of important. You don't want to load a couple of different assets, and then when you load this one, it'll override the textures on that one. So that's why we're going for this specific hierarchy. So pretty important. And then you'll have your prefab asset here. So that's how we're going with the hierarchy. So we highly recommend that. And then you go import. You can drag this and put it wherever you like if you want. But usually I'll just open it and then close it once I've got something. So, as noted, Mona library, portals, and here's our asset. I'm going to put this in space like so. And then we have this really cool portal there. Now, if you wanted to, so note that this was a portal. If we put this in space, it's not going to work as a portal. So all the portals technically need to be under portals. That'll go green, and then it's good to go. But if I wanted to, I could 100% put this in there. I'm going to unpack this so that I can edit it without worrying about affecting this one. And then I'm going to remove the spawn point. And I'm going to remove the stained glass portal. And then I have this asset to use as just a cool element of the space. And I love the skybox effect. It's really, really cool. That would be a big texture though. That's the problem. So this is kind of like a large file side asset. But if I wanted to, And I could stained glass material. Now, if you're interested, if you want a similar effect, this stained glass sky material is under legacy shaders down here, reflective there, and vertex lit there. So you can do this, but big but this is an 8 meg image. Even at 1024 and 1024, this is an 8 meg image. Now I could reduce that to 512, and it does get a little bit fuzzier. That's also a 2 meg image, so it doesn't look too bad. So I'd probably do that for file size reasons, and then I have an amazing cool thing there. All right. So that is the Mona library, which is going to be really cool as people start add stuff to use it. Any questions so far? If not, I'll continue. What's that? So that's, have I done everything? Yeah. So that's the template utility and the Mona library. All right. Next one. Last one, coolest one. Well, they're all cool. You also have a refresh, so that's useful. And then we have Almona Tools, which is in the library. We have two other. We've been a bit quiet on this one as well. But if you are a Vox person, I don't know so much about this, but the people who are in this category are pretty. What do you call it? There is an ecosystem of people who do voxel art. I forget the name of the asset that creates it, but this tool allows you to basically import .vox files. So once again, if you just go download, this will come up, go import, and then you can just drag in .vox assets into your space. Pretty cool. I don't have any, so I can't show you, but you can do that. So say with FBXs, you can drag and drop them in here. But with this, you can also drag and drop .vox, which is super useful. The one we're looking at, though, is AI Material Generator or Designer. Everywhere else is Designer, except here. Once again, download all of these, import. Fresh, and then I'm going to close that. Okay. When you import it, you get a new menu up here at the moment. AI Material Designer. Go yes. And here we are. Okay. There are 4 stages to creating a material. So let's do a quick summary of these. Tool setup. So this uses replicate, which is a thing you sign up to. I think we found this to be the cheapest utility to sign up, so you can use their cloud to process your information. You also get a bunch of free credits or free time at the start, so you can see if you like it, and then you can sign up with replicate, which is separate from Mona. So we can do that in a sec. So that's the setup. To use their cloud, you need the API key. So we'll go to into that in a sec. So that's up. Next, once you've signed up, you can imagine your color, albedo, or diffuse texture. Those are the same thing. So I usually go with diffuse, so that's what I'm going to use. But they use albedo in this case. But yeah, those 3 names are exactly the same thing. So diffuse, albedo, and color, I guess, textures are just the base texture. And you can type your prompt in here. and imagine the texture. The prompt guide will go to the doc that goes into the material designer. The guides are pretty simple at the moment, but we've got these examples. So basically, more the merrier. If you go into detail, um, you'll have a better chance of creating a good asset. Um, so yeah, so in all of these cases, he basically added sort of seamless texture, trending on ArtStation, base color, albedo 4K. So I'm going to do the same, and then come up with like a good setup for that. So lunar surface, ancient carvings, trim sheet. This isn't exactly the best trim sheet. It's a good texture, but it's not the best trim sheet. And bark is pretty excellent there. So those are some examples of that. So you got the prompt guide there. And then imagine texture, it'll create that. Next, you'll be looking at the normal map and smoothness map. You can create a height map and an AO map, or ambient occlusion. That said, once again, file size is always a consideration when you're making assets. And unless you are going to use like really small versions of these, so you can downsize them in textures as textures in Unity, I probably wouldn't even use them. I will probably use a normal and a smoothness. And depending on the asset, I might not even smoothness. I'll use normal though. So there's that. So you'll click on include and then generate it. And then once you have your maps, you can check it out here with a sphere, cube, or cylinder. Adjust some of the settings here if you want. Rename it and then export. Okay, so let's look at joining. Okay. So, Replicate is the website that does the magic, I guess. So you're using their cloud to create the assets. And to do that, you just need to sign in. Now, I'm a bit paranoid because the is it the Web3 NFT, all of those spaces, has a lot of hackers. So I'm gonna keep this off board, but it's pretty easy to sign up and get the API key. So I'm gonna do that. But once again, on the documentation, so we have that. We have this page here. So once you've signed in, go to the account page and API token, and you'll have this big bunch of numbers here, and grab that, and then you can put it in the API key. So I'm going to do that. Good. Lots of dots. You can't see them, so that's fine. And then go save API key. Done. And then we can imagine our stuff. So pretty easy to set up. Yeah, Magic's pretty cool. I'm a big fan. All right, give me an idea. Give me some. What do you call it? I'm gonna grab. Where is it? Down. Okay, here we go. Seamless texture, trending on ArtStation. There we go. Copy that. Turn this into material designer as well. Okay, cool. Need a prompt. Give me a prompt, people. So what I'd like to do actually is we're gonna go. I'm gonna jump into Blender and make a really small space, and then we're gonna use this if I have enough time and credits to create textures for it. So what do we want to do? Like a little gallery, a little jumping challenge. What do we want to do? What's the vibe? Um, I always like stone. I'm a big fan of stone and stylized stuff. I wonder how good the thing is with stylized, tiled stone. Um, where? Do we want moss? No, not really. There we go. Put some commas for grammar purposes. All right. It's the, when you have a blank, the blank canvas is the worst canvas. We'll give it a shot. Now it does take a bit. Um, the diffuse one takes the longest, and that usually costs the most. I think it's about 2 cents per generation. I don't exactly know how much free time or free credits we get, so I'll go as long as I can. But yeah, super cheap. Um, and yeah, I think you get quite a few generations. The extra maps. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, all right. The generate maps. Well, we can do that now. So let's do that. These ones cost less. I think these are like 1 cent a generation. So once again, bunch of free credits at the start. So don't have to worry about it now. So I'm going to go normal. Now in this case, and this is where you start choosing resources, for example. So I don't think the rock would have the same level of smoothness and roughness. I think like it would be slightly different between the whites and the grays, but not enough to worry about. So in this case, I'm just going to include the normal because I sort of hope that those the whiter bits are a bit higher because that'd be kind of cool. But I'm not going to generate a smoothness. One, to save money. Two, to save file size. So I'm just going to go generate. We have this. So sometimes this will be longer, but I don't know. I don't know exactly how it works. Magic is indeed magic. Everything's AI now. AI art director, AI art generation, AI space maker, AI users. We don't exist anymore. We don't need to be here. Down here, it'll say processing and things like that. So, like, it's working. It's fine. But the first one takes a little bit of time. And then if I did this one afterward, it'd be really quite quick. So, grab a cuppa. Any day. So, what are you working on? Blockchain? What's your thing? You do a VRM? You a space person? You just jumping on? You an experienced creator? What's your story? What's your credit card and CVC number? You check. I'm gonna get better at that. There we go. One day I'm gonna sit straight. It's gonna be amazing. Today is not that day. Oh, I didn't update the thing. Hang on. While that's happening, yeah. to do a thing. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So I have a normal map. Now, just to show you, if I go generate, the smoothness, I believe it will be much faster. There we go. Now you'll note there's a little bit of artifacting in there, but I don't think, like, it's not that noticeable. Once again, AI is very first gen and has interesting results. And yeah, hopefully we can spend some time to create a better database, I guess you could call it. I'm sure there's a real word for it. Noise. So we have our two. You could have four, but I don't, once again, don't usually recommend a height or an ambient inclusion on the grounds that they are very subtle. Height is very, well, ambient inclusion is very subtle. Height is very processor intensive. Like the materials can do it, but one, the file size and that. So I usually use those two. Hey Stuart, how's it going? We're on the edge. Okay, so we have our cool texture done. Things we can do. We can check different assets. I kind of like this one because then you have the. I think one side is one. So if I go to one, that's what it was going to look like. And like you could do some really stuff with just tiling. So that looks like kind of like a concrete now. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna go one because I actually like that. Metallic value, you can put this up and down. It doesn't change here because metallic works on environment, like reflecting stuff. So you can adjust this purely to what the material will be, but then you can also edit the material and see it in the utility there. So let's put this at 0 because it's like stone. So there's that. There are other shader types. I don't use them because I've honestly never used those ones, but you can. You can go standard. Let's do stone tile 0, 1, just in case we do more, and then go create. And then we have our new folder here, stone tile. We have our material and textures, which is cool. Now on that, so once it's created, these are all at 512 by 512. So let's have a look at our cool tile. So 512 by 512, which is pretty good for a tileable asset, especially because you can adjust the tile on the material. This one you probably won't see the smoothness because, and I hate this, the smoothness is based on the alpha. So metallic is on the red channel of the material and alpha is on the alpha channel. So let's do a quick look at something if you want to edit it. Let's go open. Let's go to where it's built, which was here, here. We're in a library. AI materials, stone. There we go. And this is that one. Okay. So we've got open. And you'll see nothing. Now, that's because the smoothness is on the alpha, so we have to have something to show. So set background to black. Well, all white or gray. Let's do gray. There we go. So there are ways to see it and edit it if you want. Let's try white and see what's going on with that maybe. Yeah, there we go. That's where that at. So alpha is 1, and the red channel, this one, is the one that is the smoothness. So yeah, it is possible to edit them if you want. That and the normal map. Okay. Now the metallic and smoothness I will usually drop down to like 256 or 128. Once again, file size is a thing. Probably leave that high, but I think let's make an asset. And then we have our material here. So we have our albedo, metallic, smoothness. We can sort of adjust like that, and you can sort of see it there. And the normal. You can, of course, add some of these assets if you wanted to. You can change the tiling here if you want to. Sorts of stuff. But I'm going to do this. Okay, so now we want to do tiling. So let's go 10. That's cool. There we go. Let's bring in some, like a sphere, for example. Just so we can see what it looks like on that. So if we go to our asset here, 1. Now note how this and this uses the same material. Yeah, there we go. So if you wanted this and this to use a different tile, you would actually have to have 2 different materials, which would increase the draw calls, I believe. So let's go tile 1 on that one, and tile 2 on that one, and then we can adjust, nope, like so. So there we go. Now notice like the quality of it, it depends on the size of how close it is. If you get really close, then you can start seeing the issues. But if you're like, say, this guy's height, like the floor looks fine. So it depends on how big the asset is and stuff like that. So there's that. All right. So yeah, that's the Material AI Designer. Any questions before making a space? Really quick. Now, notice if you close this, you will lose your texture. So you'd have to regenerate it, which means you're using time on the cloud. So note that. But yeah. Okay. So let's see what we can do in about an hour. Can we make a space in an hour with the AI Material Designer? Let's go. That, get rid of that. Keep it. So that can be 0.1. That can be, let's make a small, like a cool, small, a small, cool, cozy space with 15 meters. We'll give it a shot. Control A. Now, one thing with this, and this is very important, is UV editing. So the material in Unity will be based on the UVs of the asset. And that's what this looks like. So this asset wouldn't really work very well because, for one, the edges are the same as the top because we haven't changed this after scaling it. And that's why I will go to object mode and go Control A, all transforms. The key one being scale, but I'll usually do all transforms. And then when you go to UV edit and select all of it and go Smart UV project, you'll notice that you'll have the adjusted. Now, that will usually just that one thing, so that's really useful. UV, Smart UV project, and that will just flatten everything and scale it after you have applied the transforms. So that's pretty important. And then if you apply this, you can adjust the tiling on the material to be the scale you want. Or if you know what your scale want, you could, if you wanted to, scale this up, and that would be the tile there. So say, for example, you could do that. So there's lots of different approaches to how you want to unwrap your asset. But for the most part, I'd probably just go Smart UV project. If it's a more organic object, I'd probably look at unwrapping it, which is, well, let's do a quick example of that. So press 2 to go to line, select the lines, right mouse click, mark seam. Do the same on the bottom line, mark seam. Grab one of these, mark seam, select all, and then go unwrap. And then what seam will do is kind of like cut at that seam and then unwrap the asset to be flat on the 2D thing, on the 2D space. And then you can scale and adjust as you see fit. So that's the basics of unwrapping, to be honest, because I use those two pretty much all the time. The only other one I might use is project from view sometimes. So let's say I look at all my selection. Project from view will just, like, this is the view, so it will do that. What will happen here, though, is the texture will be sort of projected down on the edges. And if you don't see the edges, that's fine. But if I don't see the edges, I should delete them. So there's that as well. So there's that. Or I will project from view bounds, and that will make it as big as the tile. So in this case, that would actually be pretty good because I'd probably get rid of the bottom because I won't see those. It's going to select the one, Control plus delete, and then we have that. So yeah, in-game engines or in-game asset creation, if you don't see the polygon, delete it. Because Unity will see it and it will render it. So if it's not there, it can't be rendered, which is a faster way to process all the information. And yeah, like 5 polygons, not so much. But if you had a complicated asset, so if you had a really a high poly game ready asset, and you had it in a wall, but you didn't delete all of the polygons behind it, it would still render all of those polygons. To my knowledge, anyway. Which takes up processing, which you don't want. So there's that. All right. Back to our 1 hour space. Like, how do you teach a degree in 1 hour? What do I want to do? What do I want to do? All right, let's go. Let's go some Halloween, shall we? Um, yeah, let's go some Halloween. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if how we can do this. I'm gonna see if we can make a haunted house real quick. Yeah. So that's 2 meters, and most houses kind of go so GZ 3 meters, like for a haunted house. Yeah, that'll work. Um, Once again, go inside here. Uh, S for scale, X for that direction, control to snap. Let's sort of go 8 by 8 maybe. Yeah, that works. Um, let's get some reference. I think we need some reference. So, haunted house. All right. Which one will we go? Hmm. I'd love it. Would be really cool if they just had like a picture, like a standard picture of the White House. Yeah, that would be really funny. Okay, that's kind of cool. This one's good, I think, because also we have like we got some really good things for material AI. So like wasted slats, tiles up the top, brick perhaps. So just thinking of like some really simple tools. So that'll be good. I think we're going to go with that. I'm going to put this over here so I can see. I can see all the people. Mm, okay, okay. Um, let's do this. I'm gonna extrude this. So E, that to be the same sort of height. Starting to think that's a bit too high. So maybe this has to be 2.5. That needs to be 5. Nope. Yep. There we go. I think that's a bit better. Yep. All right. Now we're talking. Um, let's add some. Once again, we're just sort of like fleshing out the space here. Yep. So, for example, I will want. What's the best way to do this? Let's get this one to this one, holding control. So if you hold control between clicking, it will find the shortest way to get there. So that's a really quick way to select assets. If you hold Alt and click, that'll get the loop, and that's why edge loops are so useful because it saves a lot of time. Okay, so that part goes up kind of a fair bit. Too high? Maybe there. Yeah, all right. Let's grab these ones. This one. And that also works with like polygons. So yeah, super useful. Does it work with? Oh, it does actually. Works with vertices as well. That's cool. All right. I want this one to be extruded on the z-axis. Let's go there. G there. Cool. Now let's go that and that can be joined. Right mouse click at center. Center. Cool. That's working. Um, Now, one thing we need to do is materials, because in this case, I would, like, if I was designing this myself, and I could actually use material to make a trim sheet, but I would use a trim sheet to make this whole space. But for today's thing, we're not going to. We're going to do some materials. So we're going to get sort of two materials, I think. So let's go new and call this roof. New. Call this just wall. Um, let's just, what can we call this one? What else would we use? Maybe window. We'll see if the material generator can create one. All right. So we have our different polygons that are going to require. Now, this is just a quick example. I'd clean up some of these polygons. We don't need these. I would get rid of those and stuff like that. But for now, let's change some colors so we can actually see what we're doing. So I'm going to go assign. Now, note you won't see this until you turn that off and then go to here. So let's go. Yeah, that one as well. Wall. Wall. Cool. Let's make that one blue. And Windows we won't worry about yet. But now that we have our base asset, I'm actually going to, one, Control A, all transforms. Two, UV editing. So notice we have that. This looks not correct. So once again, unwrap, Smart UV project, go. Done. Now, what we can do, go to roof, select nothing, go to roof, go select. Ooh. Actually, this is a good example of deleting things we will never see. Bye. And then select. So we have our roof. So we have that. And this is important. So I'm assuming the roof tiles, AI generator will create them that way. So I'm going to do that. And just to be sure, I'm going to split those and make sure they're all facing the same way, just so that they look correct. Now, when you're tiling, it's not so much of an issue, but we may come back in here once we have the texture to modify it a bit and go a bit trim sheety on it. So we'll see. So yeah, that should be good. Unclick everything, wall, select, and the same thing again. So everything is going to be kind of this way. Those are those bits. Okay, so that's probably correct. Put that up there as well. What are these ones then? What are these ones? Maybe that way? Front. Yeah, that's correct. Doesn't really matter where it is because it's tiled texture, and that's fine. So we unwrapped it. We have our haunted house. Once again, this is a basics because I want to get the scale right in Blender. So we're going to export the FBX into Almona space. Models. One, just in case, you know, I might make two. Actually, I'm gonna apply the transforms just in case, because otherwise I'm gonna save a trip. That always happens. All right. So we have our our model. Yeah. Now if I had those already, I would actually apply them here. But once again, this is all about scale. Looks pretty good. Because Mona is amazing. Playground. Yeah, it's a ghost house. I kind of like the scale. A little bit small, maybe, but I don't mind it. Yeah, no, I think that's the right scale. Get rid of that. Close that. Delete that. Okay. I'm going to change the lighting around. So that it sort of goes that way. Cool. I'm also going to duplicate that. Actually, no, I kind of like the black because it's haunted. Yeah, no, let's keep that. All right. So I have the right scale, so we can do this. We can go all in on this, I think. Okay, let's snap that one. Move that up. I'm going to use K, get the knife out. Those at last. Done. Grab all of them. Actually, just for neatness. Sometimes the shortest is not what you think it is. Yep, good. Um, extrude normal. Interesting. What is going on there? Okay, fine. How else can I do this? Let's give this a shot. Better. Much better. Okay, cool. Back to 3. Plus, plus. Roof. Cool. That's that. What else do we want to do? That's a cool thing to do that. I'm gonna get rid of these two. So delete, dissolve edges. That works. And I'm actually gonna move these out. Just cause. Alright. What else do we need? We need windows, I guess. I should have kept it. Fine. Yeah, all right. Do we want? Kind of do. All right. So this one's going to be an inset, which is this one. See how this goes. And we want this to be individual. Yep, cool. Now in this case, we want these to all be the same height. So these two are a bit off. Scale SZ0 GZ down. Cool. Now this one's going to be a door. So we're actually going to get rid of that polygon. GZ0? No, that doesn't work. GZ. Scale SY. What doors look like? Kind of want a high door. Put it there. Well, actually, what we're going to do for most of these, actually, is inset most of things. Once again, get rid of that one. Here. All right. Can I scale? Can I individual? So that one will be up here. Individual origins, which is what we want. Scale Y. Excellent. I think we want that effect because that's kind of cool. Oh, actually, we can do these as well. Maybe. No. Different axis. Axis. Is that what we want? Yeah. Now, what we could do... Right, we're going to not do any of that. Because... reasons. So what we're actually going to do is grab one of these, duplicate that, and separate it. Because I want to basically make a prefab and then duplicate it around. So that'll be a bit more optimized, use less file size, etc., etc. So I'm going to do it that way. Because that makes me sound like I know what I'm talking about. And that's the most important thing. Yeah. Okay, so I can get rid of all these things now. This will save a lot of polygons. I only have to do one window rather than all of them. Now, this would be different if we wanted to see into the window. But I don't think we're going to do that, so this would be a better way to do it. We can definitely fake it on the inside, so go through the door. But you don't want a haunted house to be open, so this actually works out. For all purposes, every house should be haunted for polycount reasons. So we can get rid of that. Do this? I think we can. Cool. Now, we've modified a lot of the vertices and stuff, so we're gonna have to retexture the space. Nope. I'm gonna send this backwards. Yeah, backwards. I can get rid of these two. Now. Okay. What I wouldn't mind, I kind of want to make it a little bit stylized. So I am actually going to put two of these in here. Scale them in. Yeah. Again. Hold on. Actually, no. I'm going to put that because I want them to have the correct normal, like not normals, polygons between them. So sometimes like you'd have lanes going up there, but I want to make sure that it folds here. So I'm going to keep that as is. Scale the other way. Nice. Now that's going to be a bit fuzzy. So how can we clean that up? Oh, that's cool. The door's going to be a bit that way too. I might do this, I think. No, I actually do want the door a little bit like that, so that doesn't work. I'm gonna... Let's try this. I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Delete, dissolve edges. Ah, then we can join this too. Cool. Yeah, sure. Now this will be a little bit more subtle. Yeah. A little bit. And then move it back. Just to there. Cool. All right. We also want to, let's do shade smooth. Go down to here, do normals, auto smooth. So I want that to be smooth, but this to be not. So that's pretty much what we want. Okay, that's cool. Then we have the windows. We'll get to them in a sec. That actually gets a little bit complicated because we've adjusted it. I can rotate it a bit. What I will do though, to be sure, is move that back to there. That should work. I'm going to set that to 0, 0, 0 so we can place it easier as well. So I'll do that. But the first thing we need to do is, once again, Control A, all transforms, and unwrap it. So grab all of the things. Now it is a complete mess. Unwrap Smart UV Project. Done. Now, once again, we have the roof tiles. I'm going to kind of rotate those at least. Do, do, do. Now, trim sheetiness. Actually, I'm going to select none, select roof, select. I'm going to do that and select wall. Roof. Better. And I'm going to try this because I want the edge to actually have that projection, which I talked about before, because that'll look cool. That'll look good. So I'm going to go up. UV projects. Project from view. And then go that way because I have theories. Split the selection, rotate that to there. Once again, not too worried about where it is, just the fact of direction. Let's rotate this one as well. Oops, not that one. That one. Okay. So I'll give that a shot. Now, it'll probably need tweaking, but we'll see. Once again, we're going to put this in the middle, sort of there. All transforms. So we can create them separate. All right. So we have our haunted house, export, FBX. Haunted house. Let's name that actually. Now I'm hoping by renaming it, it breaks it because I can then show you how to fix that. So we'll see. And we want the window as well. Control A, sorry. So it gets everything sort of back to where it should be. And then we just go window. Tile, that tile is something. I like it on the sphere. It actually looks really cool on the sphere. That said, I'm going to put the wall back. There we go. Okay. So, nope, the haunted house worked. So that's fine. But we also have a window. So I'm going to put that in there. So as a child of the haunted house. So to see that there, so that's good. Okay. So let's do some AI material magic. All right. Once again, API key added. Let's do, have I still got the thing? Nope, that is not the thing we want. Prompt guide. Steal other people's ideas. Seamless texture trending on ArtStation. Okay, cool. Copy. That was already there. Okay, get rid of that. Okay. Let's do the slats. Haunted house. Wood. All slats. Broken. Ragged. All of the things. Any other words we should add in there? Give it a shot. Distraught. Unhappy. This doesn't work. We'll add that in there. Somewhat depressed. Load times as a good thing to sort your posture, have a drink, hydrate. I think it's interesting because like I was told I don't know much about the AI generation process, but I get the impression. What did they say? Um, Excellent. That's what we want. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's like 12:20 p.m. here, so I'm doing great. I just woke up before this. Um, that's perfect. The slats are the wrong direction, but apart from that, that's exactly what we want. So that's great. We want to generate maps, so let's go normal. Yeah, let's do smoothness as well. Um, so because of that direction, I'm probably gonna. Well, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go back to Blender. Um, Black to Blender. And fix the UVs. But that's fine. Yeah, it's kind of a pity. I wish I could get up earlier, so I could stream a little bit earlier, but because everything's on, like, because I work for Mona and they're in America, generally I have to work on American time. So all of the meetings and the things that we have are my 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 p.m., 2 a.m. So I kind of have to stay up late, and that's fine. Like I usually have always gone to bed around 1, 2, so that's not too much of an issue. But getting up early, that's a catch. We also need tiled slats. Not slats. Roof. What? Give me. While it's thinking, I want you to come up with the best roof tile prompt. Leave the seamless texture trending on ArtStation to me. Oh, really? Oh. No, I don't know what 7 a.m. is anymore. That is not. Oh, actually, that's a lie. So on Saturday night, I got home at 7 a.m. because I was going to some of my old haunts, which was fun. But yeah, people who get up early is like, I don't understand how you work at all. One thing I have noted with this at the moment is like occasionally just move your mouse and it updates a little bit faster sometimes. I don't know if that's a Unity UI thing where it doesn't refresh fast enough and stuff, but there we go. Cool. Thou mouse. Yeah. Great material. That's gonna be a cube. Excellent. Metallic value 0 tile. Tile so well too. Let's go 2-ish. I think that'll be good. Adjust it later. Um, wood. Just wall. That'll do. Cool. Close that one. Close that one. Close that one. These ones. Okay, cool. Let's go back because we need some haunted house roof tiles. Let's do roof tiles and see what it does. Roof tiles. Slats? Is that a broken ragged? Distraught. Let's do it. Roof tiles. Yeah, no, I think that's it. We'll give that a shot. Any other suggestions? Old barn. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure. Anything else? Lol. Ooh, cracked. That's a good word. Missing. Oh, man, you're good at this. I am not. Damaged. Do I need commas? Do commas make a difference? Good. Yeah, let's do that just in case. Broken, ragged, distraught. I like that one. Cracked roof tiles with missing tiles. Yeah. Storm damaged. Ache. Okay, unreal. Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Ooh, interesting. Okay. We're gonna have to get on that. Is the order? Can I just put it here? Um, I'll have to clean that UI up somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Unity's UI, like editor tools, is a little bit something. Let's put it in there. Unreal. Everything. Everything. Sure. Ah, there we go. Okay. Oh no, that's fine. I don't need to say anything. Okay, so that gets longer the more you text, but then you have to use this to get there. Okay, cool. I want stylized game dictionary. Yeah, maybe too many words. Okay. Let's get rid of some of these. What's causing this, you think? I'm gonna get rid of Unreal Engine because we got like trending on ArtStation. Maybe get rid of Storm Damaged. Weathered I like. Maybe Cracked. Maybe Old Barn. Yeah. Ooh, keep Old and get rid of Barn. All right. Okay, we'll give that a shot. Go. Yeah, so it does seem that moving makes a bit of a difference. So that helps if it's taking a bit longer than it should. So keep that in mind. Because sometimes it always does better, but not top view. So, top view? Rim sheet. Seamless texture, that's already in there. Might get rid of missing tiles though. And put in broken. Ah, it's already there. Broken roof tiles. Let's get rid of that one then. We'll get that shot. Top view. Orthographic? Yeah. Ooh, closer. Oh, if that had yeah, so we got top down view. That's a good one. Let's do that. Top down view. Let's do roof tiles because I think that's what is coming up with that maybe. Roof tiles. Weathered ragged old trim sheet. Okay. Yeah, we'll give that a shot. Faster with the moving mouse. I'm gonna keep doing that. Yeah, I think it'll be an interesting balance between. That's kind of cool. Actually, I don't mind that at all. Let's do that. No, whoops, wrong button. Whew, we lost it. Do we want the smoothness? Yeah, I think we do because you got those two different types. Mm. Yeah, it's not exactly what I wanted, but it's like it's kind of a little bit better. I think that's the interesting thing with AI, right? Like you can. I don't. Mm, I have opinions on AI art. I'll say that much. Um, I I will say that it is a different form of art, and as an artist, I get frustrated that people are buying into it so much as I am now an artist because I can type a sentence. Um, that said, there is definitely craft involved with making the choices of the word prompts and stuff. 100%. There's value there. But if it takes 2 weeks to make an art piece and 1 day to make 5 seconds to make an art piece, then it's a complicated structure of value. That said, AI is super useful for reference and creating and inspiring and things like that, and 100% has a use. My issue, my actual issue with AI, anything to be honest, is the fact that we do not have a society that is going to be able to deal with the fact that there are going to be so many jobs taken by AI. So, concept artists, for example, like you need them, sure, for like important assets, but for a lot of simple assets, not so much. Stuff like that. It's really, really complicated topic, but it was a complicated topic when we went from horses to cars. It was a very complicated topic when we went from like art to like paintings and drawings to photography. But I think when it comes down to it, is we have the engineers, but it does feel that less people are going to be involved on the other side of this technology. So, yeah, it's a mixed bag. So we'll see. Yeah, that's cool. I like that one. Wood. Bruce. So, yeah, as with any technology, pros and cons, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. It's going to be amazing and terrible at the same time. Okay. So, now that we have our two materials, I can actually go to my haunted house and put them here. So we have a roof, and we have walls, apply. Okay, so the roof needs to be more tiled, a little bit more. No, 5. Cool. Excellent. This is all wrong. So it's the wrong way. You can't rotate. You can't rotate. Just had to check. So let's get the right scale. So let's go 10 by 10. I think that's one. But this is kind of what we're after. So that's excellent. That's right. That's right. So it's just the front. Okay. So we need to grab all of the front. So let's go back here. Grab all of the front. Go to UV editing. And rotate that. There we go. Now you have that. And we kind of do need to clean that up, to be honest. So it's going to be a bit tricky. So what we'll do is we're going to open our texture in Blender so we can line things up correctly. So we want, which one do we want? We want the, not that one. We want, no, that one. Hand right here. Nope. Where is it? Vinyl library. Wood walls. Albedo. Go. All right. Let's go that. And then we also need to put this on the asset so we can see it here. So if we go to wall, go to shading, I will go to add node, texture, image texture. Put that there, drag the color, and go. Now, because we added it to the UV editing, I can just grab it here, and then we've got that. Now, can I scale it though? That's a bit tricky. I don't know anything about nodes. So unfortunately, I'm very much sure there is a tiling tool. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to tell me. UV map, is that it? Texture coordinate. That. Tile it here. Can I do that? Yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Um. So how can we do this then? We can research it. Let's do that. Blender, tiling, texture. The mapping node. There we go. Yeah, that's a lot of nodes. A lot of stuff. Yeah, no, but well, oddly enough, actually, I actually prefer written. So I'm looking at a written one. One because I don't like playing YouTube on stream because that's a thing. Um, but a lot of the time, the thing with YouTube is you have to like find it. Like it's going to spend 5 minutes to say one sentence, um, which I get frustrated with. I will 100% say. Um, Mapping. Okay. Something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not going to waste time on this. um, so what I'm going to do is what am I going to do? Go to UV editing again, um, and just move these up and down a bit. What I will do is I will say you can do this in your own time because it takes a long time. You get the idea. Okay. We do need to do the window though. So I'm gonna get rid of the floor, the ground, and see what's happening with that asset when we put. Ooh, we could do some cool what do you call it? Trimmer sheet stuff. So let's do that. Okay, so we got that. Oh yeah, that tile thing is going to be a thing. So let's duplicate that one. Call it X1. So one loop. And then put that on that asset. which is here. Now that's fine because we can use this now. This is basically trim sheet, if you think about it. Kind of like that, so I'm going to keep that as well. Yep. What I should do, because you want everything to be aligned, right? So I'm going to Smart UV that, and that'll be bigger, so that'll be good. Move this out here so I can see it easier, and then I can split those and move them over here. And that way, when I scale things, all of them, it will be correct. So I should be able to line those up a bit easier. So, useful. And just to sort of scatter a bit, I don't want things to tile like too much. That's looking cool. Where your mouse is in Blender will completely change what it's doing. So keep note of that. Okay. So you got that sort of thing, which is really cool. Should actually be let's okay. Ideas. Let's put them there. So no, let's keep them sort of a bit scaled down because I don't want the edging that is there. So I can do that a bit better, like so. And this is basically a good example of what trim sheets do. Big fan of trim sheets because it will save a lot of material draw calls, which is very important. That. We also have this one. So for that, I'm going to do this. So it's all boarded up. That is amazing. Thank you, AI material designer. Thank you. Window. There we go. I'll need to make a door. So we could probably literally make another one. Now we want to rotate these a little bit. Like so. Cool. And then when we'll do a light map. Ooh, running out of time. Better hurry up then. I need a door though. I want a door. That needs to be okay. Okay, let's do a quick version of a door. For that, I'm just gonna rotate it. Because at this point, I'm pretty sure you understand how this all works. It's about the same, isn't it? So let's just put it there. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's grab these as well. Plus one. For these, I'm just gonna rotate them like so. Quick version. Let's. Actually, I'm gonna make a new empty, so haunted house, because I want to put the windows together, but I want to keep them a little bit separate. So I got that. So this way, that's good. So I'm going to make a prefab of that by dragging that down. Original prefab, thank you. So if I modify this again, I can do cool stuff. That said, don't need to. So duplicate. Let's move that down a bit, actually. There. That way we can do that. I kind of feel like this should be rotated a bit. Not sure why, but that's what we're doing. Duplicate that. Zoop. Cool. Put that. Nope, just the two. And these need to be rotated slightly less. And probably put on the same kind of line there. Cool. And then move those in a little bit. In a little bit. Let's just grab two of them and duplicate them. Move that out, move it back, rotate both individually. Maybe not. Okay. Now that's a bigger rotation, so let's get that one in there. That one's probably about the same. Kind of like the broken thing, actually, so I might kind of mess that up a bit more. Maybe 2, 3, 3, 3. Pretty cool. All right. And yeah, once again, sure you get the picture. Now you got this clipping here, so I'm actually going to move these 3 out a bit to remove that from happening. That's good. All right. Then, is there any more? No, I think. Yeah, no, there's clip in there as well. So yeah, there's that. I'm just going to duplicate those, move them on the other end, rotate all of them, holding control to snap to make it a bit easier. Once again, going back as far as I can before the clipping, which is there. I'm going to grab 2 of these, duplicate them, move them to the back, rotate those. Go. And then duplicate those. Oops. Okay. And then mess some of them up. Basically. Yeah. So we have our house. Pretty cool. So let's do a quick light map, because then we can take this to the sort of like the next level. How do we do this? We kind of need a skybox. Daylight is not. So for skyboxes, I usually go to Polyhaven. There are others, but Polyhaven's really good. We want a nighttime one. We want a spooky nighttime one. What does a spooky nighttime one look like? Maybe this one. This one. Yeah, I think this one. Let's grab this one. Just go download. And save that directly into our Mona space. Not that one. This is a texture. They cool. Go here, go to our texture that is now imported. And we want to go texture type. Nope. Texture shape. Cube. Apply. Moment. And then we need a material. So I'm going to go create material. Just call it skybox or whatever you like. And we're going to make this one go up to the shader and then go skybox, cube map. And then we can drag our material into it. And then we can drag that material there. Spooky. So yeah, a good HDR will change the lighting of the space, which is kind of what we want to do. So that's excellent. Next up, let's go to lighting. Do some light mapping. Now first we need to, this is very important. If you're doing light mapping, so select your haunted house and the window. We want to go to model and we got to generate light map UVs. Otherwise, the light maps will not be textured correctly. So we've looked at unwrapping this asset in Blender to have its UVs. Light maps have like a secondary UVs that Unity creates. So all of the polygons don't overlap. So the light mapping is individual per face. And I can show an example of that after we bake. So that is the first step. The second step is you could just click on that static, but the main one you're looking at is contribute GI for light mapping. But a lot of the time I'll just go static. If you're really optimizing the space and being like very technical about a lot of it, you'll look into and choose those correctly. But a lot of people starting will just do the static. And it will know that these are for baking. That's it. Floor is also static, so that's good. For our purposes, let's throw this in there as well. Why not? We could put like some lights there and stuff. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, we'll get into it. Running out of time, but we'll see how we go. So, go to lighting. If you can't see lighting, it's on window rendering lighting. go new light settings. It'll create a file. Name it if you want. Haunted settings. Settings. Cool. Now, a first pass, I will usually turn all of these down for speed, just to make sure you've got it right. So I'll either quarter or half. My computer's pretty good with a 2070 RTX. I'm just going to half everything. There's not much in this space, so I'm actually going to put that up to 60. I usually use 2048 for the max light map size. Ambient Inclusion is the key one we're actually wanting to sort of get a bit of extra color in there. And that's it. Now, the stream will go fuzzy, so I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna stay still, and do a light map. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, it won't too long. We'll see. Oh, I'm gonna save it. Save. Very important note: always save before you do the light map. Light mapping is one of the things that will break Unity the most, and will crash or do some things. The first time you do it, I would probably even make a backup of the file, just to be sure, just to be safe. So Unity has some light mapping stability issues, but does look good when it's done, so it's worth it. But we'll see. Okay. So you sort of see the fact that these are two models, but you have like shadow on them, kind of works really well. Kind of a bit bright, but it'll do. It'll do. All right. That's that. Now looking at the light maps, this is what you look at. So the floor, which is quite big, so that's like a 2048 by 2048. Not the best approach to it because this quality is going to be a bit lacking. So it depends on what you're creating. But for now, this is all right. But this is what you're looking at. Now, light mapping bakes, like Unity isn't the best at them, but it does the job. So there's that as well. And once again, once you have a more complicated space, it does map it out a bit better than that. So there's that. One thing that is cool is that you can sort of see where the asset is if you click on it on the asset. So, all right, let's jump in and have a look. Then a haunted house made with material. Oops. Let's do that. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's AI material generator. That's pretty cool. So once again, trim shoots is a super useful tool to take one material and create a lot of assets. So super useful for creating things like windows. I'd probably do the same with the door, and all sorts of things. Now, if I had more time, I would probably add sort of some balconies and like a light, so to sort of create the lighting, because lighting is very important. But this does give you an idea of tools you can use to sort of create all sorts of things. So let's do this. Here we go. And let's go U, and let's go F11. There we go. Grab this and put it in the general. Dink. Print screen. All right. So that tool is very useful for grabbing the preview for your space. So go into the space, and yeah, U gets rid of the user interface. F11 in pretty much all browsers will go full screen. And that allows you basically to kind of play a full screen game. So super useful for that. So yeah. Well, happy with that. Okay, we're gonna wrap it there. 2 hours. 2 hours for like all of that. That's pretty happy with that. Hope you learned something. And yeah, look forward to seeing your builds and creatures with VRM. Got a lot of things with going on with VRMs. So make sure to submit that soon. I think it's the 16th. I think it is for VRMs, or the VRM challenge. I wish I could enter competitions now because I work for Mona. I can't do that, so it's kind of annoying. But anyway, I don't have much time to do it. But anyway, it would be cool. But yes, one day I'll get on this time to do that. Yeah, happy to show it off for you, and thank you for joining the chat and joining me on this haunted house journey. But we'll leave it there for the day. All right, have a good day. Catch you later. Get some sleep if it's getting late, and happy building.